What if REGICE was in Gen 1 OU? Now, I generally don't know how people would feel about this one. Like, whenever you see REGICE and assume it's a monster or just like a sort of meh Pokemon at first value. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, oh, okay, ice types, it should be good. But like, there's also Pokemon like Lapras and like Dugong who are, you know, also ice type, but they're not like inherently broken OU either. Well, what if I showed you something that's kind of interesting with REGICE? It knows Amnesia. And as far as I'm concerned, this makes it the only ice type that warrants Amnesia. Not the only ice type, or not the only Pokemon that warrants Amnesia that warrants Blizzard. Because, like, you know, Slowbro warrants Blizzard and Amnesia, but, like, it doesn't really use it. So, yeah. Things are already very, very interesting. Alongside Amnesia, it also has, you know, Blizzard, Body Slam, Double Edge, Explosion, Earthquake. It also has like Ice Beam and Ice Punch, but like let's be real, you're not gonna use it. Rock Slide is bleh. If you want Seismic Toss for whatever reason, there you go. Substitute, Thunderbolt. Again, it wants another Elemental Punch. I don't understand why. Thunder Wave. It probably wants Hyper Beam. Like what doesn't want Hyper Beam? Let's be honest here. Like yeah, pretty good options, but like. His moveset for the most part is pretty, like, settled. You know, just, like, Volt Beam coverage. Like, really, what else do you need other than Volt Beam coverage? The last move can vary. Just depends on what you want. I'm sure most people would want to say Explosion. I don't really blame you. But with base 50 attack, I don't know. I'm not immediately sold. I feel like Thunder Wave can do just as good, especially when with Thunder Wave it can give you a lot of free turns. So like, well, you're gonna learn once I go to the replays that like REGICE, despite being immune to being frozen, it really does not get the statuses. You might think it won't care about like paralysis that much because not only is it already pretty slow, but because of like the Gen 1 glitch, I'm pretty sure it's where like if you have a stat boost while paralyzed, it brings back to normal speed. So, like, yeah, that's, like, it might seem like that's good, or not a big deal, but, like, REGICE does not like having turns wasted. It needs as many turns as possible, because REGICE does not have a form recovery, or it has rest, so I guess that is, like, one option you can give it, but, like, it doesn't have recover, unfortunately, which I could have sworn it did. Does it recover, like, in a later gen? I don't know. But even then, like, I'm kind of glad it has this weakness. Because I feel like if it didn't have, like, such a huge, like, weakness towards, like, paralysis, it would probably be a little too good. Because Ice on its own isn't a very good defensive typing. But luckily for REGICE, this is Gen 1 OU. There are no fighting types. There are no fire types. And the only rock type is also part ground. And you just kill it with Blizzard. So REGICE is pretty lucky that it doesn't have to worry about any of that. But on the other hand, if there was a generation for you to like not have to worry about weaknesses, yeah, you're in the one generation where the best moves are psychic and normal. And there's no like poison or fighting types, so both types are essentially the same thing. There's two strong types that just spam neutral damage. But REGICE is also pretty good at that. Because again, Volt Beam coverage, pretty good. It didn't get to raise your special. Also, it does not matter if it's special, it's 200 or 100. Or, I mean, it kind of does, because 200 is, like, you know, insane. If it had 200, I would probably say that, yeah, even, like, with paralysis, that's a little too good. So, it would probably just end up being 100 if it was in Gen 1. But that's still, like, amazing. Like, oh my gosh. So, yeah, as you can tell, we're pretty good. Let's just start going into some of the replays. We got a fair bit of them this time. Starting off with Tauros. And I was curious, I wanted to see what would happen if, like, some people expect, like, Fire Blast. And on the first replay, I loved that I got a crit. But it doesn't. Yeah, you just die. You just die. Like, it's unfortunate. Tauros can definitely get some damage in. Which is nice, but Yeah, Regice just like queens. By the way, I'm just gonna spoil it now. Regice, I'm assuming, even though it's a huge threat, I imagine it'd be like a late game queener, such as like Kingler. I think Regice really appreciates it either if most of the team is already paralyzed or most of the team's already worn down. That way it can have a better chance to set up on its own. And its Zorax was weird. Because like with Amnesia Wax, like it can like slowly, you know, like do better against you, but can't really hurt you unless it uses like Thunderbolt instead of like Ice Beam. And then like the normal moves do like a decent amount. And like if Zorax paralyzes you, like you're seeing right here, right now, just how bad it actually is for Regice. But like how many Amnesia sets or there's probably a fair bit that run like Body Slam and like Ice Beam Amnesia, I think. Other than that, yeah, I'm assuming you're mostly fine. Like, if it was Amnesia Snorlax with, like, only Ice Beam, obviously you queen that pretty easily. If it's Snorlax with Body Slam, Hyper Beam, I'm assuming you're fine. Self-Destruct, you'd probably die with enough chip damage, but, like, that's still training like Snorlax, so that's still pretty good. So, I don't know, like, just like most of these, it could go either way. And to no one's surprise, Chansey annoys the heck out of special attackers. Yes, Regice can boost its special, but Paralysis is really, really annoying. Like, really annoying. Which, granted, like, I had two other replays I had of Chansey, and with both of them, like, Regice has suffered a lot from Paralysis. But I feel like this one was better. And also, you could probably see a reason why I'm not like too big on Explosion. Like, yes, it did do a good amount to Chansey, so like it's not bad. If like a Pokemon's chipped, Explosion will kill it. But what would really be more helpful in the long run? Having Explosion to do do a good chunk of damage, or would it be better if you had Thunder Wave? Because granted, you don't really usually want Thunder Wave. Like, you know, you don't want to like Chansey paralyzed, because then you can't freeze it or like put it to sleep. But think about just how much Regice could have like settled there if it just got 1 or 2 free turns, you know? If it had a chance to like fully boost up its like Amnesias, it could have like do a good amount to Chansey whenever it gets sent out. And like stuff like that. But like that's up to you guys to decide. I could see arguments either or, and it probably depends on the matchup. Speaking of matchup, let's just put this on fast, shall we? Because, spoiler alert, they never get out of the clamp lock. This is part of the reason we're having, like, slow speed really, really hinders you. Because, like, yes, like, if it gets Amnesia set up, it can take out Cloyster pretty easily. It has Thunderbolt. And also, with enough Amnesia, it flat out just doesn't matter, like, how many times they clamp you. But this right here is why you need to, like, use Regice only late game. Either wait for the Cloyster to be paralyzed, weakened, or just, like, have it explode so you don't have to deal with it at all. Because Regice does not appreciate Cloyster at all. Or any trapping move. It's like so easy to just trap Regice. It's not even funny. And then against Alakazam, they can paralyze you. They can and will be annoying. But you have Amnesia. So like, what can they do? Like, Psychic, trying to get special drops, Seismic Toss, recover. Might be a little annoying, but you have this like very easily. There is not much they can really do to you. The most they can do is just stall and just hope you get unlucky. Yes, this probably doesn't really surprise anybody that Regice is a pretty good special wall that does a lot of damage. And yeah, like maybe sometimes Alakazam can win. And like probably Seismic Toss is like the most optimal thing to use. But a lot of them don't even use like Seismic Toss. Sometimes it might use like Reflect or something. So yeah, Regice just takes it pretty easily. Good for Regice. Yeah, and then, like, again, you're slower. If you were to, like, somehow outspeed it, if it's a miss, or you paralyze it, you probably win the match very easily. But if Executor is healthy, and, like, it gets, like, Sweet Powder off, it's just sad to see. It really is. It takes a good amount of Psychics to actually get you down, but it doesn't matter. Like, just, you are capable of taking on Executor, if you somehow manage to get an Amnesia off. But I'd prefer if you just use a different Pokemon to take care of Executor. It'll just make your life a lot easier. Oh boy, and then this replay. Gengar, if it could like use like Psychic, Nightshade, Thunderbolt, it could be pretty annoying. REGICE can just, you know, like it can, like with Amnesia, it has a pretty good matchup either way. But yeah, that was a lot of Hypnosis that were missed. Like how many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. It's usually not that bad, but dang it, is it funny. Really, really funny. And I just wanted to do a Jolteon one because I was kind of curious how much a crit would do and how much double kick would do. A crit did about as much as you would expect, or maybe a little less, I'm not sure. And then double kick just Jolteon tried its best. That's all you can ask for, you know? Just do your best. You're doing good, Jolteon. But you're pretty good against a lot of the Pokemon like in this series, because like high speed and Thunder Wave is pretty useful. But yeah, like with crits you can just like 3-hit KO REGICE, but that's it. And then against Jinx, yeah, it's not pretty. Imagine a more accurate sweep move than like Executor and Gengar, and imagine always outspeeding. REGICE does not appreciate this matchup. It really doesn't. Like, yeah, what do you even do? What do you even do here? Like Jinx can very easily just, you know, use Lovely Kiss, because you need like a few amnesias before you can really threaten it with like, you know, Thunderbolt. But then it can just like easily just wear you down. And Explosion doesn't even one shot. So yeah, unfortunate. But then again, it's yet another matchup where you can still threaten it at least. Speaking of threatening, 1 HP. Hot take, but that might be a damage range. You take on the right-on matchup real easily. You're weak to rock, but that does not matter. It really does not. You got this. And then Slowbro. The two main amnesia setters. And Slowbro with rest could be annoying, especially with paralysis, but you definitely have the better opportunity here. Because Slowbro can't do anything against your amnesias. And then it's like, either you just crit them or you just wear them down with Thunderbolt. Slowbro just doesn't have a capability of like hurting you. The most they can do is paralyze you, and then it just stalls, like for the most part. Like even if it hit you, you have enough amnesias where you wouldn't do that bad. Not to mention, you already have pretty good special in the first place. Even with this 100 special, you're still like bigger than Slowbro. So yeah, it's always very satisfying. And I mean very satisfying when I do these replays and there's something that annoys Slowbro. It's not the most common thing in the world, but whenever it happens, good golly am I satisfied. And then the Stormy matchup, it's just the Slowbro matchup even more one-sided. Because like, you can't even boost amnesia. You just have recover. So like best case scenario, you use like Psychic, you drop a special, but then it did just use amnesia again. So, yeah, Stormy just loses very badly. Like, really badly. So, a good example about just how dangerous REGICE can be once it gets a Blizzard off. And even without, like, even if you don't use Amnesia. Like, let's say you wind up a weird set that has, like, this, like... Let's say you have, like, Volt Beam, you also have, like, Rock Slide and Earthquake for whatever reason. Just because you want, like, coverage for some weird reason. Like, even with that, like... You can still do a lot of damage. There's not really anything that can switch into you. Which is actually pretty nice, you know? And then lastly, Zapdos versus REGICE. I can't tell if Zapdos got very lucky in this playthrough, or replay, or if this is just how the matchup usually goes, where paralysis is annoying, but REGICE will eventually stop it. Also, I'm pretty sure Draw Plug does more than Thunderbolt, which I found humorous. But yeah, like, I think in these replays that probably, like, it should be enough where you're like, okay, yeah, I can see why paralysis is really annoying. And this is why I still think that paralysis or Thunder Wave is more or just better than Explosion. But you guys like you guys can disagree with me if you want. I don't think there's like any right or wrong answer here. And then for the ranking, I'm not sold on like a lot of these because it's kind of hard to rank some of them, like Snorlax. And for like these ones down here, like all of these can like annoy the heck out of like REGICE, but also REGICE seriously threatens all of them with amnesia. Minus maybe Chansey, but even then, I'm pretty sure even Chansey doesn't really want to really deal with it. And even some of the stuff up here, like Rhydon can still hurt it and kill it with a crit, and like Alakazam can be annoying too. But I would still probably consider it a great matchup. So yeah, I'll be honest. When the commenter who suggested REGICE told me about it, and they told me that there's like this like mod for like or like a ROM of like Gen 1 with like all Generation 8 Pokemon or just Pokemon for all 8 generations. Apparently REGICE got banned there, and when they told me about like Bolt Beam coverage, Amnesia, and Explosion, I was like, holy crap, this thing's gonna be busted. There's like no way it'll be like okay. But like, I genuinely don't know. I could see arguments for both OU and Ubers, but I feel like for the most part, it would be sort of like how Ursa Moon is, you know? You know how for Ursa Moon you need setup, and like once you get that setup, it like can kill everything? But you can learn to play around it, I think. And I think that like the more experience you have facing against REGICE, the better you have like going against it and beating it. So even though it's incredibly powerful, it probably would be the most powerful like Ice type. Definitely OU. I don't think it would be ban worthy. I truly don't. Not only that, but like the terminally optimistic side of me likes to believe that REGICE being there might give fire types more of a niche, because having a pure ice type, other than like the Ice Psychic and Ice Jinx, could be pretty good. So I don't know, like maybe not only do I think it's like manageable in OU, but could even make it the tier better. That might be going a little too far, but you guys have to let me know. What do you think? Would REGICE be busted in OU? Would it be like fine in Ubers? Is it them looking over? And what do you think is actually better between Thunder Wave or Explosion? And what would you like to see next? I'm always saying we're doing videos here because your video suggestions, and I enjoy making these videos still. So this is Groundback, and I look forward to hearing from you.